How does an attacker get a foothold into my organization and then spread from there to achieve their objectives? When I've studied a real intrusion or even a pen test, it typically happens in an area where in my 25 years of studying cybersecurity, I have a really keen interest on the initial point of intrusion, what in the industry most of us call a foothold. How does an attacker get a foothold into my organization and then spread from there to achieve their objectives? More often than not, when I've studied a real intrusion or even a pen test where a pen tester was able to gain a foothold into an organization, it typically happens in an area where my SOC lacks visibility. My preventative and detective controls lack visibility. Common areas for this would be a lab, an R&D department, or even old technology where I can't put an endpoint agent on something, or the same equivalent in the network world where I have a VLAN or VERF, where I don't have my preventative and detective controls. One way to combat this, to make sure we don't have those visibility holes, would be to consider using an ASM or attack surface management tool. Modern attack surface management tools that are configured appropriately can tell you who is using what assets in your organization, including your cloud and SaaS resources. The way this works is using APIs and webhooks to have an interconnected diagram of what assets you have, what databases, what software you're running, what tools you're running, where all that is, and who is using it. So keep in mind, this is SharePoint, this is all of your web resources, all of your SaaS resources as well. One common thread I've seen here over the past few weeks and months is attackers using an external Teams connection to talk to your employees and get them to install an RMM tool or remote management tool. If you are using attack surface management, you can easily identify that, right? It's not going to be somebody with an email in your domain that is trying to interact with a person who does have a domain email address or a domain credentials. So keep in mind, if you have an ASM tool appropriately configured, that really can give you a giant leap in the game of minimizing and reducing visibility gaps in your organization.